As with all stories, there's a beginning, and that story begins with his soul being blinded by her light, and in a moment of truth, he fell in love. Uncertain of where love would guide him, he followed blindly as she embraced him with her light, drawing him deeper and deeper into her until she sat him down in a place which was all too familiar, and he called it home. They found freedom in one another as their conversations extended past the reach of night into the day. His love for her took root in the deepest recess of his soul as he became accustomed to her sinfully sweet sound. The sound of her voice which sang to him like a siren before seducing him like a succubus, whisking him away on a whim. Her visage hung like portraits in the corridor of his mind, so that whenever he strolled his thoughts she was there, and he visited her often becoming lost in her eyes for days at a time. Often they stared into each other's soul, exchanging intense energies which drove them into maddening lust and desire. He wanted her more than he had ever wanted any woman. His attraction to her had been magnetic since day one, but the deeper their kinship became, the more he wanted her to make love to her, to whisk her away to a paradise proposed to her, and spend his entire life on into eternity with her, knowing she was worth it. Then there was a shift. Them both being of little inhibitions, they began to explore one another as their sexual chemistry became acknowledged. Their combustible elements exploded, causing a domino effect of orgasms. As what was once latent reached its full potential. Well aware of her affinity for kink, he appealed to her with words which awakened her soul, causing her vagina to grip with excitement as he watered her with ideas, whetting her appetite until her love drooled with hunger, seeking to devour every inch of him until he only existed within her, throbbing within her walls like their heartbeats until she was fulfilled. Given vivid visuals, she began to play, frolicking about her playground as he roughhoused with her, pushing her on the merry-go-round of pleasure until she found herself dizzy with delight, chest heaving, the soul heaving, soul breathing, soul breathing. He enticed her to play as she enticed him to play. He stroked as he would stroke her, as ecstasy filled him, and she exposed him to the high-pitched harmonies of her moans, causing him to erupt. Overwhelmed is he by her moans. As his body quakes, it awakes, it shakes, it stiffens as it explodes to the sound of her name laying upon his lips. He pours his love into the universe, saying her name, seeking her as his receptacle. In awe of one another, they bask in the moment, pondering how it could ever been conceivable. How was it conceivably possible, what they did then and now? But they glow. She finds herself flabbergasted, saying to him, I don't usually. How did that happen? He smiles at her response to him, knowing full well what had transpired, even if she didn't. All he could do was smile that of a Cheshire, and listened carefully, grinning from a place deep in his soul as the night spilled over into the day, as they wished each other good night, not knowing it was only an intermission.